Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We're all here. I'm drinking this Palm Beach rum liqueur. It's delicious. I think, Fiddy, you drinking yours as well? It's delicious. Uh, Welcome to episode 30. Episode 30 of Boys in the
Would
Baltic
you
Star.
believe it?
They said we'd never make five, but we did. Then they said we'd never make 10, but we did. Then they asked us to not make 15, but we ignored them. And we carried on, and we're at 30. If I'm too quiet, please let me know. Ali messaged me and said I was too quiet last night, so I'm up a little bit. If I'm too loud, tell me that too. Uh, Levels are important. But thank you for joining us tonight to our Traveller, the sci-fi roleplay game adventure that we play. 30 weeks, plus one, because we did a little special. 30, man, that's a lot. Without missing one. Kudos to us.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. My goodness.
Except we did in fact miss one, didn't we?
How dare you?
I
No, was
believe
that...
we did.
Wasn't that the one that we
Yeah.
did the catch up? Or did we all miss it?
No, we did another one missing.
Oh, there goes my hope. To Grey Hill. No, I agree. To Grey Hill.
To Grey Hill.
If you have just wandered in and you're like, what is this brightly coloured nonsense on my screen? And what are these three bearded men going on about? But something has captured your attention, then please consider following us at Twitter at @BoysBaltic for more of the same. Or if you like this and you watch it and you sort of like what's going on, then consider following us on Twitch. We appreciate that too. In the bottom corner by the text box, we've got the way you can spend your Imperial credits. People are spending them already. Everything's quite affordable generally. We just want a bit of joy and fun. We're interactive, chatting there, and it's worthy. We'll chat about it. We don't care. We're not holy and pure about these things. Get involved. There's ways to get involved. You can give us boons. You can name NPCs. You can make us flash up love hearts with Ewan's face on it. I might have turned off the Evan one though. I need to turn that one back on if not, because we just need a spooky face to upset Ben.
Evan's good. Added to Grey Hill from Socks. Thanks.
To Grey Hill. To Grey Hill. But yes, please just hang around and enjoy it. My name is Luke in the bottom corner. My guns are out because it is still hot. It's been a lovely September for someone with SAD, it must be said. I'm really enjoying it, and long may it continue, although September doesn't have that much longer. Next to me, in true fist bump territory, it is my comrade and my brother-in-arms. That was a good one. That was the best one I've done.
We're getting better.
We'll do it again
It's
later.
the only reason we stream. Just to practice that.
We keep resetting the chat until Ewan's next to me.
Yeah.
But it is Ewan, the man with the most Fortnite noob poning headphones in the game. How are you doing, Ewan, tonight?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Thanks. Not too bad at all.
That's what
For now.
For now. We'll see how it goes. See how many
Who knows?
swerves get hit at us. And the man that could throw swerves at us is being kept apart from me by Ewan. It is the man who lives 24 hours a day in the Twin Peaks dream sequence. It is the GM, the wisest man on screen. It is Bucky himself, Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Very well. Yes. Busy day. Now looking forward to some fun gaming.
As we're talking. And Fiddles has spent all day looking forward to seeing your face so she can have a nice old swoon. So
have I, frankly.
yeah, that's what gets us through the day.
Yeah.
Oh, the perfect
Especially on
fist bump.
Fridays.
Oh yeah, it's a day that needs a bit of help, to be honest. Okay. Speaking of Fridays, speaking of cogs and spanners and all sorts of things, I don't think we were, but I just added them. Agnar's at the top of the screen, so I think we're ready to go, Ben.
Okay. So last time, on the Seamstress, now fast approaching the jump point to Dillabrew and the beginning of the buckyball match between Geeka and the mighty powerhouse that is the Dillabrew team, the travellers are investigating the death of Brett Sagar, one of two experts in ancient carvings that they were hoping could tell them things of import. Olivia Sharp, the League security officer, seems unaware that Sagar is dead and is investigating his disappearance instead, though she has noted a large amount of blood at the scene. Continuing their investigation, the party have assembled a timeline of the comings and goings outside Sagar's stateroom and begun to piece together what happened. The party splits, with a first attempt at interrogating Alma Kennedy, star of the Geeker Buckyball team, ending in disappointment. Stefan, outside Laura Frost's stateroom, sees nothing at all of note. At the same time, Johnny, watching Freya Kranev, notices a perhaps subtle meeting between her and Laura Frost. Kara and Agnar are keeping a watchful eye on the crime scene as they also keep a lookout for interesting buckyball moments. Distracted by Johnny's urgent message, they almost miss Olivia Sharp, the League security officer, emerging from the crime scene and meeting up with March Temple, assistant to their noble benefactor on the cruise, and also known as Stella Nest. Of course, all this pales into insignificance next to the news that Soraya scored the winning runs in the limited overs buckyball match played between the fans of the two teams on board. A moment of glory. And that is where we resume the story.
Oh, Ben, what an intro. That's wonderful. I feel as though we've got all the information we need, bar like one thing that's just going to tie it all beautifully together at some point. Hopefully.
Up the geeks.
Up the
Who knows?
geeks.
Up the geeks.
Up the geeks.
Up
What
the
a
geeks.
victory for the fans. Almost makes the death of Sagar worthwhile. Almost.
Almost.
So, as Olivia Sharp and March Temple, are they pretty much behind us, or have they sort of wandered off in conversation?
They met up within your view and they are now walking away.
Okay. Away from the crime scene?
Yes.
You think of what I'm thinking, Agnar? How's your door strength today?
Let's go.
Yes. Right, Kara and Agnar will look to get back towards the crime scene, if that's possible, please, Ben.
It certainly is. Can you roll a stealth roll for me, each of you, with dexterity, please?
Not been warming them.
Yes, I have not foolishly been warming them.
Stupid early rolls. We should know better by now.
Yeah.
Was it stealth plus? Oh, that's a big fat zero.
Stealth plus dex.
Decide to do something so decisive.
0 plus 0. Yeah.
Agnar rolled a 5, but he gets a +3, so that's an 8.
Okay.
Oh, and a strong 9 for a start from
Ooh,
Kara. That's a good
nice.
start.
Superb.
Last week was terrible. This is good. Good week.
An 8 and a 9. Wonderful. Okay. So you have reasonable confidence that you made your way into the hotel area and then down the passageway and into the little corridor leading to the three suites at the end, the three staterooms at the end, unnoticed.
Okay. Before we get, is there a part of it that we can get to before we're in view of the camera? Because we know where the camera is, right? So
yes, the main sort of passageway down, the companionway down into these staterooms, is quite wide and leads to a lot of different corridors and doors. So as long as you stay in that, you won't be in view of the camera. It's only when you make your way down the little passageway that leads to the three staterooms at the end that you will be spotted.
If I set off an EMP, it's just going to mess everyone's mobile phone up. It's not just going to be the camera, right? It's powerful enough that it's quite a radius.
Yes. I can't actually remember off the top of my head what the radius of an EMP is.
It's a TL9 EMP.
All of a sudden, the whole shit stops working. We're stranded in the middle of nowhere.
All the 0G buckyball becomes G buckyball. Just like collapses to the bottom.
Yeah. Do that if Dillabur are about to win.
Yeah.
It would actually be the other way round. It would be that the rest of the ship would become 0G as well.
That's true, actually.
Yes.
We can all experience it. It's probably a bit overkill. It's kind of like using a hand grenade to scramble some eggs, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah. I'm trying to look. My EM
Have you done
probe.
that often?
Yeah, not too often. Just the odd time. It doesn't work very well. You only get left with a small percentage of the egg. That's the problem.
Yeah. Shell everywhere.
Shell everywhere.
Mm.
Bits of
Both
the
the
wall
grenade
as
and the
well. My EM probe can only check it. It can't do anything to it. Correct. It
Yep.
just probes it. And my computer. I guess I could log into this. I could log into it. I've gone on there before. Can I have a go at getting on to sort of diddle with the camera? Is that something I can do?
Yes, I don't see why not.
Thank you. Agnar, keep a lookout. I'm just going to try and cover our backs.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll keep a lookout from the direction, in the direction from whence we just came.
Oh, that's beautiful grammar. Love
Well, on the second try.
that.
Okay. Right. So 2 things going on. You need to make an electronics computers check, and you can use the computer, but you won't be able to use its bonus because it is currently running a program for you.
It is, and I've only got so much
Ooh.
RAM.
Yeah. So you can use it as your interface, but it's going to have to just be your skill.
Which is so my computers +1, or yeah, not comms, is it's computers.
Yep.
And then intellect and education, was it? Oh no, it's just one of those we normally would go
It'll
for.
just do one of those. It'll be intellect.
Yep, so it's +3. That makes sense because it's normally +4 with the computer. Yes.
Yep.
+3. Exactly the same again. 9. I did roll them. The 3 rolled the 6, and the 6 rolled the 3. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So that's a total of 12.
yeah.
Okay. And can you roll 1d6 for me?
I can. It's 5.
Okay. It will take you about 10 minutes to bypass the security cameras.
Oh no! Oh no! It's a long time. She sort of turns to Agnar. She says, "This could take 10 minutes. Is it? Is it worth the 10 minutes, or do we get in and out and I try and mess with it later?"
I mean, you can always remove the footage that we did before, right? Or, I mean, worst case scenario, you can just break down the camera and then it's not going to get anything.
That's your
Or
answer to everything.
I once saw this really old movie where they take a photo of what the camera's viewing and they just hold it in front of the camera. So you could, I mean, if you're not attached to your personal device for the next however long this is going to take us, you could just snip a photo and
Snip a photo up.
stick it in front of the camera, and you know.
Oh.
I'd say either later or the spray paint are the better of the two options. The spray paint is more permanent.
The spray paint though is quite interesting. It's quite obvious though, but
It is.
I could spray paint from an angle where it can't see me potentially. No, let's
Yeah,
take it.
I mean, if anyone's monitoring, the chances are they're probably going to come down and see what's wrong with the camera if you do that.
In which case, we'll take it.
But I know how you love your spray paint.
I do love my spray paint, but
That's
you know,
what I
there's a
put
time and a place, I guess.
Let's go. You can delete the footage later.
We'll look into deleting it later, Ben, if we remember. That's a long time to hang around.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Okay, so.
But I'll make sure that I'm not. My face is turned away the best I can. She's quite obviously dressed. She might still have her. No, she ripped off her anti-Delabru t-shirt, but she's quite obvious. But she'll still turn her face away.
I mean, I'm also quite obvious. Agnar points at the floofy.
Are you still floofy? He's still floofy. Oh,
well,
no.
even
The
if he's
floofiness.
not, he's still very vulgar, I suppose. But there are others around, but none as handsome as I.
Of course. She gives his fur a little bit of a ruffle before turning her face away from the camera and trying to walk past, sort of as if she's having a conversation, so it doesn't look like she's shielding it, but just trying to keep her back to it, I guess. As we walk past. Okay. And then, is the door indeed shut now, Ben?
It is indeed, and there is a holographic device just tucked into the wall next to it, which projects a sort of animated image across it, which essentially projects a scrolling image of the words "crime scene, do not enter."
Do you think there's any other precautions been set up? You know, alarms, something to alert somebody.
Well, that I can check for. Cara flicks out the EM probe, please, Ben.
Okay.
I get comms on that. Do I get comms on that? I can't remember what I get. I get something good.
For EM probe, you'll get to use your electronics communications skill.
Yep, fantastic. Any of my personal skills, or
yes, it'll be intellect plus that plus the EM probe gives you a +1 automatically.
oh, wow, that's looking good. Thank you. That is 6 plus 5. Then is 11.
11.
Strong.
Okay.
Strong.
Right. That really is a very good roll. Yes. The device that projects the hollow across the door is also apparently recording in that one direction. Now, the way it's set up on the left-hand side of the frame means it's actually only recording the far end of the suite corridor at the moment. But if you were to break the beam, so to speak, you would pass through its recording.
So it's recording sort of across the door and continuing down to the far end. You mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it covering the room that we haven't been in? Because that's opposite, isn't it?
No, that's the room you did go in and just visited the loo.
Yeah, the other one.
The one you haven't been into is the one at the end, which it does cover.
How convenient.
How very, very convenient. Ha, ha, he, ha, 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 he. Right. How do we get in, Agnar? What do we do? What do we do?
I've got the feeling this is going to be very neatly wrapped up, so that if we play any kind of shenanigans with this room, I think someone's going to know. But that doesn't necessarily mean we shouldn't.
Shenanigans.
We just need a way out, I guess. Or a way around it.
That is true. So looking across that, the one room that we could theoretically get into is the one we've been into already. Which, from the toilet's empty, the main room's empty, the cupboard's empty. There was pretty much nothing else in that room at the time of worth.
Yes, the only other thing that was in there at the time was Olivia Sharp.
Yes, she's not sharp. Sharpie. What are we gonna do?
It seems. Does it not seem odd to you that? Have we? Sorry, Ben, out of character. Have we seen many security? Is there a big security presence on the station for a bucketball tournament? Are there
not
people
that
around?
You've spotted, but if Sharp is any guide, they may be plain clothes.
Yes. But we could assume that there's more than one. Agnar will say, right? And
statistically.
But the fact that there is only one, we haven't seen anybody else down this corridor suite at all. There's certainly not been anybody else come down here to investigate the room, because you saw that Sharp was the only person to follow us or come down here after us, right, Cara?
Yep. According to the camera, the last person on the was indeed sharp. Because
Does that seem odd?
the
I'm not
footage,
sure.
because the only footage after us was Laura Frost, and then the only person that would have been down after the footage was deleted was Sharp. So we can tell.
Yeah, just I don't know. I mean, they might be caught up securing the rest of the ship, maybe from fans and looking after the bucketball players. It just seems a bit odd to me. But there's only been one security person come down this corridor and access the crime scene.
Exactly, and no one. Not that we're aware of it. I don't think it's not been dobbed in. I don't think there's some very. Either there was a private conversation to get her on board, or she knows something. Does the camera look like it's removable theoretically, Ben, by without tools?
Do a streetwise check for me, please.
I will. A 7 with 0.
Okay. The basic answer is yes, it looks like you can remove it. It's clamped to the wall, but it's not a part of the ship, so to speak.
Yep.
It's reasonable to assume if you removed it, then people would know it had been removed.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there's nothing inherently stopping you removing it and throwing it in a bucket of water if you wanted to.
Oh, don't tempt me. Does it have... Oh. Would it be too obvious, Agnar, if someone carefully, with much agility, took it and tried to like move it in a straight line a little bit to let someone squeeze past the door? Would it be too obvious? I guess it would.
I
'Cause it's
mean,
got eyes on door, hasn't it?
you're the visual media expert. How wide a angled lens do you think that is?
I don't know. Let me have a closer look, but without getting near what might be the closer angle lens. Now, using my visual media and my knowledge of things, can I make a roll, please, Ben?
You certainly can.
Thank you.
Visual media plus education.
Okay, that's good. 7 plus 4 is 11.
Oof.
Okay. The design of the lens appears to be a vertical slit. If you were to, scan your memory of instruments like this, you've seen something like it before, but not in a security or law enforcement context.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kind of thing that is used at the finish line of races.
Okay.
Where it can be used to assemble an image where the left to right of the image is not left to right in direction, but left to right in time, if that makes sense.
Yes, that does make sense. So it's a very narrow field, but can create quite a wide composite image based on time.
Yes, and it would be a very fast one. So it would be able to detect anything moving across that field at reasonable resolution. What that means is, based on where it's set up, it probably doesn't actually have any view of the door that it's next to at all. Just the sort of corridor stretching away and anyone who passes in front of the lens.
Interesting. We need to Mission Impossible from the ceiling.
What about just stepping over it or under it? Or I mean, is it likely to be high and low?
Because it's a vertical slit, it will have quite a high angle. If you were able to open the door, which might be a problem with it there, to do so invisibly. The only bits that would be out of its field of view would be the top and bottom corner on the left-hand side of the door. And they would be narrow, shall we say.
If we open the door fully, Cara, where was the body last time? Would we be able to just see it from here?
You can see it if it's you can see it if the door's open. If the body is there, it's there. You can see it. It wasn't that.
So,
The
I
room's not
mean,
that big. I got across to it in a few paces.
if we can open the door without getting into the camera, then I mean, there's no saying that somebody's not going to be alerted. But we certainly haven't entered a crime scene, have we?
That is true. It's very strong talk for a man that took
Technically.
3 attempts to open a door when it was
Well,
ajar.
I mean, I'm not bragging about my door opening skills. But we all know that's why we brought Johnny with us last time, and look where that ended up.
True. And between us, we have very poor strength.
But I do like your idea of potentially moving it forwards. I've always wanted to do you know those really old horror films where they move the camera and zoom at the same time? I've always wanted to do
The
that.
trombone shot.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm offended by the fact that you say really old horror films when you're talking about things like Jaws.
Well, no, I mean from Agnar's perspective, they
Yeah.
would be really old.
They really would, yeah.
I never expected to be in the same place as you, Agnar, when you were taking a trombone shot.
Oh God.
Trombone shots.
I know. I'm joking, of course. I don't think we shouldn't have anything in field of view when we attempt to move the camera. That's the whole point. That's I don't know.
You are a more.
It's your call, Cara.
You're a more dexterous man than I. Let's. The thing is getting in afterwards. I don't know if we've got the skills to break into a locked door. Sort of under that sort of pressure. I certainly don't. I don't know if you do. I've got a gun.
I mean, I have no real experience, I suppose, outside of anything military based, but certainly not that kind of black ops.
No, I mean you were in the army. You know, opening doors is what they have corporals for.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to end up going backwards and forwards the whole time here without having a good way to get in. Either we get someone who's going to be better at doing it and have a better chance, or we rethink what we're going to do here. Or we have a practice on the door that we can get to.
How tight is the door in the frame? I'm assuming there's no like gap underneath.
No, it's a sliding door and it completely fills the frame.
Okay.
Right.
Just
You've not lost that much weight, Agnar.
Simple. Well, yeah, if you had some kind of visual media camera on,
just slide it under.
Yeah. We've all seen.
Like
We've all seen those other really old films where they snake
really,
cameras through vents.
Really old films.
Under doors. Yeah.
Man. The sort of thing that old grandparents would watch.
Sometimes the low tech solution is the best solution. Not in this case.
Could I hold a mirror up to it and make it go wonky? How much if you hold a mirror up to it? That's another thing they do in those films. You make the laser go odd.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Reflects it.
If you put a mirror in front of the lens, then absolutely it won't be able to see through the mirror, but it obviously will get a different view.
Of itself, but it won't see us.
Indeed.
Oh. What do you reckon, Agnar? I could hold my compact up and sort of, I don't know, do some shenanigans. There's no other angle I could take that would give it the same view, but I could get it. Could I change the angle so it's looking towards the other door? I don't know how different the view would be. Probably quite different, but if someone was not really paying attention, using my visual media skills,
it would be a very different view because obviously the angle would be different. It would be almost square onto that door. Rather than down the wall. It would be a very different view, but it's not actually impossible to redirect it.
Let's do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Night in the cells?
Two options. Somebody's going to watch it back later and realise that something's gone on but not know who it is, or somebody's monitoring it currently, either on or off or permanently. They're going to notice a difference and come back.
What do you fancy?
As I see it.
I defer to the man with the leadership skills.
Well, you know what? You're right. What is the worst that can happen?
Yes.
Slap on the wrist, night in the cells. Hey, if we open the door and we don't even enter, are we doing anything wrong?
That is the other call.
I don't know. Ben, what do we know about the legal system on board buckyball ships?
Beheadings.
It'll be a corporate legal system, so largely civil.
So anything they want.
Lots of fines, I would imagine.
Okay.
Those 100,000 credits are banished. Good question.
Yeah.
Actually. Is this the sort of thing I could potentially hack with my computer, Ben?
You can, but you would only be doing it yourself, not with the advantage that the computer gives you.
I tell you what, Cara, maybe this is the perfect situation for you to get down low with your personal device, take a picture of what you think the camera is viewing, and then just hold it in front of the camera while I try and open the door.
But then the camera will be seeing the back of the thing, though. Will it? Oh, I see. Oh, it's reflecting.
Slightly from above or to the side. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than reflecting it.
I've just been given a boon from Fiddles to do some hacking. Very specific boon.
Okay.
I'm going to try a hacker boon, please. With my...
All right.
So it's just a plus... No comms, you said. No comm skills. Just my personal... No, personal skills.
Just your personal skills. So your electronics computer.
Yep, and my intellect, wasn't it?
And your intellect.
Okay. But I've got a boon. Come on, so it's a +3. Come on, we're doing it. This is good. We had to break that stalemate. Come on.
Yeah, thanks, Socks. We could have been talking about that for hours.
It could have been going on and on. Okay, I'm glad you booned me. Thank you. Because it was a 1, a 4, and a 5.
That is a good boon.
So it's a 9 plus 2, it's a 12. I believe in me. I believe in me.
There you go, Socks. You get a song as well.
Can you roll 1d6 for me, please?
I believe. I can. It's a 3. I believe in 3.
A 3. Okay. You successfully hook into its communications with its base station, and you can see exactly the image that it is seeing.
Yeah.
You have access to its control programs. You can do pretty much anything you want at that point.
Can I loop? Can I go back to 10 minutes ago? No. Oh, how long ago? It's a while since what's the name left, I guess. How long ago did we see Thingy come out the end of the corridor?
About
Sharp.
5 or 10 minutes ago now. Yeah.
Okay, so can I try looping? Go into like the last 4 minutes, and can I try and run that as like instead of recording, it's sort of playing it as a playback loop, I guess. Is that possible?
Right. Yes. Not in that way though.
Okay.
Because it doesn't store the recordings locally.
Mm-hmm.
What you would have to do is use your laptop to intercept a copy of the footage it is currently recording, and then put that on a loop from your laptop.
Okay, so I'm going to need to sit here as long as I feel brave enough to sit here recording to get as long a loop as I feel comfortable to do, basically. Yep. Okay, let's get that started, and I'll see how brave I feel about the loop. I guess it doesn't need to be long, I guess, because as long as no shadows change, don't cast a shadow. No shadow be cast out till May be out, or whatever the don't clout till May. Yeah.
Agnar is an expert in shadow puppets.
Don't you start.
He'll put them away.
Now's not the time, Agnar.
That's also not true. I'd imagine that's a visual media, so it's probably more Kara's
probably thing. Yeah.
Kara, while you're there, can you see where it's sending a picture to?
That's not a dog. This is a dog. Can I?
Or possibly even get a location if it's sending it to a certain security agent. Can you find out where they are?
Kara looks down at her computer as it's recording footage and says, "I don't know. Let's see if I can."
Roll an electronics computer check for me, please.
Thank you. 7 plus 3 is 10.
Okay. You are able to identify that it is sending its data to the League security suite in the bridge complex of the ship.
Okay.
Wait, is that close to where Stefan went that time on his mission?
Not very far away. Yeah.
Good old Stefan. That's what we need right now. Okay. I will relay that. So it is sending data. So it's not like directly to her. So that suggests even if it's to her own personal device, I guess, her own personal computer in the suite, it's going to the suite, which could mean dealing with more than just her.
I mean, it's good that that's not being monitored necessarily by her. It's bad that we aren't able to gather where she is. That would have been really useful, especially if she's coming back anytime soon.
Definitely.
It also sort of clears her up a little bit more. Like, I feel more confident that this is an overarching security issue rather than just her acting by herself.
No.
Maybe.
Okay, can I... Everything clear after 1 minute, Ben?
Yes, everything was clear after 1 minute.
Everything clear after 2 minutes. I'm going for the 2 minutes.
Yep, after 2 minutes, nothing has happened, nothing has changed, and you have 2 minutes worth of footage.
It's getting tense, chat. Do I go deeper? Do I go deeper underground? Is 2 enough? That's going to loop only a few times, maybe. 2 minutes. If nothing's changed, they shouldn't notice the difference too much.
Loop it.
Bonk! Loop it. 2 minutes.
Okay. You have successfully looped it. It is now sending identical bit-by-bit data back to the server.
Oh. Well, when you put it like that, then.
Okay. What's next then, Agnar? Daddy Agnar. Sorry, Secret Agent Agnar, I guess, right now.
Door. We get the door. We're good to go. Is the camera...
Okay.
Yeah, door.
Okay.
Door
it
yes.
is.
Agent 00 Floof, I need from you...
What a name.
That is good.
I need from you a strength check with athletic strength, please.
I'm writing 00 Floof down. That's really important.
Wonderful. Nope, I got nothing. Ooh, that's a 10 though. -1 is 9.
Good work. Big roll.
10 minus 1 is 9. Okay.
He's only good with closed doors.
It takes a few moments, but you do find the door slowly sliding open under your efforts.
Nice.
And it doesn't take all that long before the door is pulled wide enough for you to be able to get in.
What are we doing? Are we going in, or are we just looking for the body? Is there a body?
That's a good first question. Yeah. Carol, I guess Carol's seen the room first, so she'll poke her head through the gap. Is it as Is it as I left it?
It is not.
Oh, what's the difference?
Yeah, there are a number of differences. So I'm going to need you, first of all, to roll a streetwise check for me.
Yes.
With intellect.
Ooh. I'm glad I got to add the intellect because my streetwise is 0. I got a 7, so that's 7 plus 2 is 9.
9. Okay. So first things first, the feet sort of sticking out from behind the bed are no longer sticking out from behind the bed.
No more feet. That doesn't mean they've not just been cut off. No more feet.
It is, footloose.
Footloose.
So that is one difference.
Yeah.
However, with that roll, you notice a couple of other differences as well.
Ooh.
There is a small black box or case on the bedside table that wasn't there when you first entered the room,
Mm-hmm.
and another one on the bottom corner of the bed.
Do these look, without going in, do they look high tech? Like, do they look like they could be something electronic, or do they look like they're just containing something? From my angle, I might not be able to see much, but
It's not realistically going to be possible to tell from this distance.
yeah. But my EM probe, when I probed, only picked up the barrier, correct?
That's right.
Okay. And they're the main differences I've seen.
Yes. From this angle, that's the only those are the only things you can spot.
Before Agnar can say anything, Kara slips inside, says, "Keep your guns out, Agnar. Your floofy guns. I'm gonna go and have a look and see. Have a mooch around."
Should we both go in? Is that better? Is that worse?
Worse. Much worse.
I'll keep an eye out.
Stand in the doorway. Go 50-50. What's it called? You're splitting your options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hedging your bets.
You can always break me out later. Worse.
I'll wait outside and I'll keep an eye down the corridor that we came down.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So, Agnar, I need you to roll a stealth check for me, please, with intellect.
Ooh.
Guns out. Actually, Ewan should have to do that. Get Agnar.
That's a 4 + 1.
5. Okay, thank you.
You need to do a guns out, Ewan. A specific Agnar gun.
Guns out.
Guns out. Look at them. Beef.
Then can you also roll me a recon with intellect as well?
Yes. That's an 8 + 1. It's 9.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you for that. Right. Agnar is sort of settled in the doorway, looking back up the corridor to see if anyone's coming down and give the alert, posting KV. And while that's going on, we turn our attention briefly to Kara.
Okay.
So what are you doing inside the room when you get in?
She asks herself the exact same thing the second she goes through the door.
What are you doing in this room?
What am I doing here? First things first. I'm trying to think. Realistically, I've not thought to be heavy on the more glovage than I normally would be. So the first thing I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to pull my sleeves up, pull my sleeves down over my hands. Bit clumsier, but trying to do my thing. Then I'm going to walk towards the nearest black box, please.
All right, the nearest one is at the foot of the bed.
Okay.
On the near corner of the bed, sort of the opposite corner from the bedside table, which is effectively near where the head of the body was. So you walk towards it. Can I have a stealth check, please, with Dex?
Oh no, you can.
I don't want to set off those proximity mines.
Pew! Exactly. Double 4s, 8s plus. It's a flat. It's a flat 8 though.
A flat 8.
I got nothing on stealth and Dex.
All right. As you approach, the box appears to do nothing except remain box-like.
Now that I'm closer, how suspicious of a box does it look?
Well, all boxes are intrinsically suspicious.
Oh, by their very nature.
Yeah, unless you're a
I'd make
cat,
him roll
in
a
which
philosophy check for that.
if you're a cat, all boxes are just fun of impossible, indescribable level. But for the rest of us,
So I need to make
Unless
a
your
philosophy
owner's
check.
name's Schrodinger, in which case it could be really fun or it could not.
How suspicious is this box? Yeah. I'll do an EM check, please, again. Now that I'm in the room.
All right. You want to sort of basically hover it over the box as close as you can get.
Yes, please. Yeah. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Oh no!
And there's two of them.
Okay. All right. That's electronics communications with intellect, please.
Yep. Which is good, probably, because I rolled horrifically. That's a double 2, but it's a +4, so it's 8.
Okay. All right. There is nothing. There is nothing seemingly electronic going on in the box, but as you wave over it, you realise that it looks a bit. Is it fair to say dusty, given how recently it was put in place?
Oh.
Interesting. Okay. I've got to do a Kara's art attack, which I will do when I've got a moment to think about it and I'm not quietly bricking myself. I'm going to peer past it. Is it not just the feet that are missing? Is the entire body missing?
Yes, it is.
What of the gory blood that that the body had given up to science? Is there much sign of it?
There is definitely signs of a blood stain, but given how much blood was around that body earlier, it's really very modest in both size and intensity.
Oh.
It looks a little bit like somebody's tried a cleanup job, but not been all that perfect about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Left a sort of brown metallic stain, which is smaller but still visible.
How big is the box?
About sort of 3 centimeters on a side.
Wow. Okay, so we're tiny box. Oh, this is good for Kara's art attack. So I could slip it into a pocket.
Yes.
At worst, I'm gonna lose a leg and it goes off.
Do you say not electronic then? Sorry, just for my.
It's not currently emitting anything electronic, no.
Oh, but it could be.
I mean, it could be off. You understand?
It could be off.
Yeah.
She's gonna quickly take a picture of it and send it through to Agnar's phone, and ask him from his military experience, has he run into anything explosive that comes in this kind of form?
Okay. Agnar, can you roll an education check, and you can have a boon with it.
Ooh.
But you can also add in your rank bonus, which at general I think is +3.
Wow.
Okay, that's better. I was going to say, can I add explosives? But I'll take the +3.
I do.
Was that? Did you say intellect or education?
Bada boom.
Education.
Education.
Oh, this is great. He's the most educated of us all.
He rolled a 7, but that's 2 from education and 3 from rank, so that is a 12.
A 12. Okay. By their nature, these little black boxes are quite nondescript. But yes, you have seen similar kinds of thing in the past. They are used for deploying a munition of some kind, usually chemical or biological agent, or a tear gas, or anything of that nature.
Okay. Is there any... Oh, I suppose that depends on the photo. Would I notice that they are unusually dusty? And would that be a familiar... Yeah, and would that be a familiar thing to
with
me
that
or
role,
not?
yes, the dustiness implies that whatever they were containing, they have deployed.
Oh.
Oh.
And
really interesting.
Generally speaking, large sort of device. Generally,
yes, they are routinely. Essentially, they are a hugely overpressured little box, which, based on a simple timer or a remote thing, you can pop the lid, and whatever's inside, because of the huge overpressure, just gets blasted out in all directions. It's a way of spreading something locally. You can use it for. They use them in military training exercises, for example, to simulate mines and bombs, so they can throw a sort of red powder everywhere rather than actually lethal things.
Yes.
So why would they be added if they've been used?
Can I relay? I'll relay all of that back to Cara. I'll say, yeah, they're chemical or biological in nature explosives. One time, the dust looks like they may have gone off. Perhaps it was a way to clean down the room, maybe? I don't know. If you put some kind of chemical in there to get rid of any evidence, possibly. That could work. But I don't know.
That.
It looks like they've got off. I'm tempted to say take one, but
I'll wrap it in a tissue. That'll help.
It's on you, Cara. It's not on me.
Is it the sort of like natural dust or of, because that I mean it's like long ago. Is it the sort of dust of a residue? Is that what we're talking about? A dusty residue?
Yeah, it's probably residue. I mean, it's very even.
Yeah.
But it's sort of not perfect around the corners. So yeah, it probably is residue.
Okay. In which case, I am going to reach into Kara's usual little bum baggy thing that she carries around in all the pictures. I'm going to pull out a sanitary towel packet. I'm going to open it up, and I would like to, using the sanitary towel to pick it up so that I'm not touching it, I'd like to attempt to pick it up with it as folded over as possible, to stash it away without touching it, if possible, into the bum bag as best as I can, I guess.
Okay. All right. Yep. You can do that. Can you roll a dex check for me, please?
Yes.
With athletics dex as well.
A dex check, yeah. Is that something Veronica Mars? Sorry, I don't know. I haven't watched it. There you go. This is
I loved Veronica Mars. I never saw the movie though.
There was a movie as well.
It was, yeah.
Tens.
Very nice.
My wobble is over.
Okay, you managed to loosely convince yourself that you have successfully packed it away in your bum bag without messing with any evidence that might be on it.
Okay, cool, thank you. Nice. And I'm heading out. The body's not there, so someone's moved it. I'll grab one of these things. We might be able to do something in the lab. I don't know. We don't even have a lab, but it sounded good at the time.
We need a chemist, I guess, and
Yeah.
we need a possible way to track it, possibly find out where this thing came from.
Let's hightail it
Cheese
out
it.
to there. Let's cheese it.
Choose it.
Let's cheese it.
Shutting the
cheese it.
door, wiping the door down.
Okay.
After shutting.
Can both of you each roll 1d6 for me, please?
Oh,
Ooh.
this is how many bullets you're going to take to the head.
I don't know if this is the first time I've rolled 1d6.
No, it's not.
Because I never computer things. Yeah. That's a 5.
I've hit a 2.
Sorry,
We never know if it's good or bad. That's a problem.
yeah. One of each, I suppose. One of each.
Yes, you've soiled yourselves.
Both
Waking
on
up
the
from
two
deep
enterprise.
sleep. Yes. Ben gets his own back on behalf of Gilly.
There's an android at the door staring at you.
Yes, android staring at you. Okay. All right. Kara hops out into the companionway, and Agnar, you're in the process of closing the door. Is that right?
Yes.
Or are you just going to leave it open?
No, we'll close it.
Okay. All right. I need a strength with athletic strength for me, please.
Wonderful. That's an 11 minus 1.
Oh,
We're doing well tonight.
Superb.
This is
Doors.
incredible.
Okay.
Hulk style
So
work.
far.
From you. I'm loving it. Loving it.
It's a 10.
Excellent stuff.
I've never fancied him more.
While you're doing that, Kara, I need a streetwise check from you with intellect, please.
Intellect's good. Streetwise, I made sure when we were character genning, I at least got to 0, all those kind of things. And intellect helps out, which is good. It's another 9. That's 11. Sorry. Oh, sorry, my hand's wrong way around. You can't see it that way. 11.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find a bit of
Then,
paper for Kara's picture. Sorry. Priorities.
We're panicking.
Right. Then, as Agnar is focusing on pushing the door closed, you catch a glimpse of a couple of people walking determinedly towards the other end of the entry corridor for this suite from the main companionway.
Oh, what, towards us, you mean?
Yeah, as if they're about to enter this little suite area.
Testicles. Do I recognise them from my panicked glance?
You can roll a streetwise check to see with intellect.
Why not? Why not? I just ripped up a bit of paper saying Iceland on. That's throwing shade at Ewan's Olympic skills. Right, here we go. Intellect plus what? Sorry, streetwise.
Streetwise.
Okay. 7 plus 0 plus 2, 9.
Okay. No, you don't recognise either of them.
Are they packing?
They appear to be carrying sort of small briefcases.
Ooh. Have they made us yet? From what I can tell,
you can see.
Roll, okay. I'm out. I'm just hanging out in the corridor, like you know, like life is dandy.
Mm-hmm.
Has Agnar got the door shut yet, or?
Yes, he's literally just pushed it shut as you spot them.
Okay.
Can he wipe it down? I forget. I'm sure we mentioned last time actually whether Varga have fingerprints or whether it's too furry, but he'll wipe it down anyway.
Yes. One of the benefits of being Varga is you just have to wipe it down with the back of your hand after all.
Yeah,
that's true. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yes. So you flew all the fingerprints off it.
The technical term.
The technical term.
And then I guess we nonchalantly walk away from the door. Can you, Kara, the camera?
Well, it's very hard to be nonchalant with a big laptop out. if we're nonchalanting, we worry about that in a second.
Okay.
because I'm guessing I'm going to need to stop and open the laptop and at least press a button to get it going again.
Yes, you'd need to actually enter some commands and do things like that. Yeah.
How long? How long do you think it? From her knowledge at this moment in my thinking, how long would it take to reset the camera going again?
Maybe a minute.
Okay. Can we sort of get as much of a shift on as is still casual, but as if like, oh, we've got to hurry back to somewhere, but without trying to look too suspicious. Two people coming from a dead end.
Yes.
Thank you.
As
Right.
we walk away, can Agnar, well, depending on where you are, actually, sorry, Ben.
Now, as you're walking away,
Is this a good time? Agnar will just be like, I told you this was the wrong way. We're nowhere near where our room is. Come on, let's go back.
okay, good.
Third left.
You always have a go at me for my directions, man. I used to be so good at directions until all this sort of sat nav stuff started coming in, and now I can't do it anymore.
Now all my maps have to be the right way up,
No,
otherwise
my
I
maps
can't
have to
function.
exactly.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay,
As loudly as possible.
I'll need both of you to roll a stealth check with Dex for me, please.
And it's time for brunch.
is it time for brunch?
Yeah.
Oh, I've just given Cara a really tiny thumb. Sorry.
What a time.
It's always time for brunch.
That's 12 on the roll. 1 stealth, 2 dex.
15.
Oh, that is big.
That's pretty good. I'm keeping those dice.
That thumb is too small. Sorry. Can I take that boon then? Because my rolls for these things are absolutely dreadful. Was it a specific boon, or was it a personal boon that someone called for?
Wait, who got a boon?
Got a time for brunch. Redeem boon. Daddy Agnar moonwalking. Was that a boon for Agnar, or is it a free boon, people? Sorry. Can we be honest? What the call was as well. If it was for Agnar, that's fine. Thank you. Okay. That's for me. Okay. What do I need to roll? I'm less skilled at these things. Would you say stealth and
Stealth plus Dex.
yeah, that's good. That's no good. That's a 5 in total, even with the boon.
Okay.
Told you I'm rubbish at these things.
So, Agent 00 Floof,
Yeah.
panache just oozing from his every pore, slips into the corridor, turns over his shoulder and makes a throwaway comment about, being lost in the maze of these passageways in the ship.
Yeah.
As he steps out of the line of the oncoming two gentlemen, as they enter the same narrow passageway part. And if they notice him at all, they don't notice anything remotely suspicious about him. He might as well be wallpaper for all the attention they pay to him. However, in her haste, Cara sort of stumbles a bit, looks a bit flustered, a bit worried perhaps, and the guys coming on immediately zoom in on her and her behavior, and one of them holds up a hand and says, "Hold it there."
Is this far enough away that I can't pretend that I haven't heard them before I get past them? Or can I head down as if I was talking to him and sort of try and get past to see how firmly?
It's really quite a narrow companionway. You'd pretty much have to push past them.
Is Agnar sort of? So they've ignored Agnar. Is he sort of past them, or is he sort of?
Yeah, Agnar managed to slip out of there before they really even clocked that he was coming out of that passageway. He's blended seamlessly into the ebb and flow of people in the main corridor. They weren't paying him any attention, and nothing crossed their mind at all. and then they encounter this rather flustered young woman who's actually in the passageway in front of them that they're trying to get down, and she looks a bit tense, a bit furtive, and one of them immediately puts up his hand. You can't really sneak past them at this point.
Yeah. She's going to try and do a like. Well, I don't stop and talk to random guys. Not two of you. Well, can you let me pass, please? I'm not. Can you let me pass, please?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of. Yeah.
Can you do persuade with intellect, please?
I can. I definitely can. Thank you. 7 + 4 is 11.
Okay.
Nice.
That's good as it's going to get.
That is good, and very nearly good enough.
Ah, you swine.
But it was an opposed roll, I'm afraid.
Ah.
The guy says, "Stay where you are. We're League security. What are you doing here?"
Does Agnar notice this?
Yeah. He's only a few feet in front, and he'd have, paid attention to where Kara is.
Can he shout back? He'll shout back. Freya, come on. We're. I told you this. It's this way. This is the way to our room.
She sort of shrugs at the guys, and to Agnar says, "I'm trying to, but these guys have stopped me. It's not my fault. We went down the wrong corridor. I'm still trying to get to know this place."
All right. Agnar, I want you to roll a persuade with social.
Yep.
And Kara a persuade with intellect, please.
Would a deception be more appropriate, Ben?
You know what? You can have deception if it's beneficial.
Thanks.
And you can still use social, which normally you can't use with deception.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
So what am I using? Did you say?
Intellect with your persuade.
With persuade. Cool. Thank you.
I got a 9 + 3.
Oh, you good.
It's a 12. I'm doing well tonight.
Fantastic.
I apologise.
That is fantastic. I got an 8 + 4. Sorry. 8 + 4 is 12.
Okay. The two guys sort of frown for a bit, look at each other, and then there's a sort of, yeah, all right. You need to stay out of this corridor, and they step aside for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. What I need to do is, as quickly as possible. Is there one of these vending machines very close by that I can sort of park myself in and try and get on my computer? Somewhere that I can sit very nearby that I can get onto the computer.
Effectively, there's a little lounge area about every floor in this downward sort of spiral into the hull of the ship. So if you just go up one level, there'll be a little lounge.
Okay. I want to get as close as I can to sit down and switch over the footage, I guess, back again if possible, as soon as I can. Whether it's quick enough, don't know. It's going to be the quickest I can do it. So
okay. I'm going to need you to make an electronics computer check without the bonus still from the computer.
Yeah.
With intellect, but I'm afraid this is going to have a bane.
Oh. Cold dice as well. Cold dice. So +3 with a bane. Right, it depends how tough this check is. I can pass some, I can't pass all of them. So let's see. It's a 2, 3, 4. So it's a 5 plus a 3 would take it to an 8. So it depends.
Okay. After only a moment or so of connecting up, you realize that you do not have a close enough connection to the camera from where you are
Of course.
to re-establish connection.
Of course. Oh no.
What if you hold it to your head, like those car keys?
Yeah.
So if the batteries are running low, you get.
Yeah, you hold it up like this, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Try that.
You try that.
It's nonchalant.
The only thing we can do is they're going to come across and realise sooner or later when they try and get in and it's just playing footage when they look back at it later and the two people are there. The best thing we can do is delete ourselves from the security cameras, so anything is just hearsay rather than proof, I guess.
Yeah. Can you get into the computer it was transmitting to and fix the problem from there or not?
Ooh, that is a very good question. Why do I feel that will be tricky? I might need my big thing that I've got running at the moment. What was the thing I've got running at the moment, Ben? It's quite a big thing, isn't it?
You were running a search through as try and hack into the main league security system in order to find from their logs if anybody had reported Sagar missing.
And that's going to be the evening, isn't it? I think we worked out. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm hacking in anyway, so hey, it's going to take that long anyway. So I'm hacking in anyway. So that's underway. While I'm in there, I'll just have a route around, I guess. So I guess what I can do before then is try and cut in back to the video footage if possible, and try and snip it out a very specific portion, if that's okay.
Okay.
Can you do that on the walk if I, sort of guide you through people?
No, that would require sitting down and concentrating.
Okay, cool. Make it so.
Okay. Then at electronics computer, you can have your +2 effectively, not the full +3.
Yeah. Electronics computers +2, yeah, not the +3, but plus my skills as well. Cool, yeah. Okay, +4. 7 + 4 is 11.
11. Okay, 1d6, please.
Oh, please be. Why am I rolling? Hang on. Why am I rolling so? Okay, 1. Finally.
1. Okay. In order to hack in and modify the footage from the main camera in the corridor, that will take you about an hour or so, and you'll have to be there doing it constantly. You can't set an agent going; it's already busy.
Okay. So it's taken out. I've got to be typing the whole time. It's like a thingy. Can I?
Yeah, you're actually going to have to be manually doing it. Yeah.
Could I? So I'm literally just in a seating area, right, at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
Can I put it on pause for a second while we go to an eatery or something where we're less dodgy? Agnar,
Absolutely.
Can you take me?
Yeah.
It's time for a bit of Daddy Agnar. I'm feeling hungry after all our stresses.
And a little bit further away from those two guys, just in case. Feels good.
Yeah, please.
I'm pretty sure Daddy Agnar mode is on. I do have a note of it. So.
How long does Daddy Agnar mode last? That was last week.
I mean, I just make notes and I tend to cross them off when I've spent them. But it doesn't always happen. So
it's written on the piece of paper, therefore it must be obeyed.
Exactly. If people have spent points, then we don't have a chance to buy stuff during the game.
Fiddles has re-redeemed it anyway, so now it's definitely Daddy Agnar mode.
It's definitely on. Cool. Yeah, let's go. Let's go get some whatever time of day it is. Meal.
After tea, we're after tea now, aren't we?
Yeah, it's effectively it's early evening.
Okay. Although
after the close of the one-day game.
Okay. Cool.
The geeks.
I believe is it tea or dinner that is just generally the biggest meal of the day? I think is how it's defined. There's one of them.
It's whichever
one. I think we all know that as far as the boys from the Baltic Star are concerned, brunch is the biggest meal of the day.
Exactly.
Well, clearly, the next meal is always brunch. It's always time for brunch.
Let's go get some mimosas to take the edge off and a bit of.
Oh yes, I've been waiting for a mimosa.
A bit of something to eat.
It's clearly a brunch o'clock.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Come on, let's get some brunch while I do some hacking.
All right.
While I go
So
full
you
River
settle
Phoenix.
off up out of the sort of the well of the stairs and the lifts to this area, up onto the main concourse. And as you know, you're always within a couple of 100 feet at most of a place to do brunch when you're on the concourse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So accordingly, you very rapidly and efficiently find yourself a suitable brunch place. And you settle down to put in your hour or so's work while some food is ordered.
And mimosas.
Yeah.
And mimosas.
Can't have brunch without a mimosa.
Well, you definitely can't do hacking without mimosas. I think
I'm all
catch
about
me
classy.
hacking without a glass of champagne. I mean, my word.
Classy hacking. That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. Not like these guys
Yeah.
in like their basements with their hoods up. No, we're gonna be proud and loud and classy with our hacking.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Excellent. Right. I think that's actually a good moment to take our break in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go get some real life mimosas.
Yes. And do some real life hacking.
Which I don't have.
No, nor do I. I've got my my Palm Beach rum liqueur. That's quite
Yeah.
That's
I
quite
can imagine
punchy.
that's yeah.
I mean, I have some wine open. You understand? It's not champagne though.
Yes.
That was last week.
Yeah. Well, that was birthday week. You know.
Exactly. Birthday
Yeah.
wine.
As it should be.
As it should be. Okay, right, let's take a break. We'll be back in 5 after we have some brunch. And we will, please hang around and we'll see what happens next. I'll leave you with some music so that Lena doesn't tell me off. Oh no, I can't do that. That's starting. That should be the music. This should be the bit. We're going to go away. The sidebars are going to go away.
I love the commentary.
There's so many bits, man. I've made it too awkward. Are we going to leave you in there for the whole break? Let's leave you in there for the whole break. That's all right.
Over the top of the toilet.
Big stand, big toilet stands. Right, we're going to go now. We've got more to do. Yeah, it's still on. Back in 5. Good evening, welcome back. Ben just used the phrase "surfeit of equity." You all missed out on that, unfortunately. It was a highlight of my life. It shows that we are the classiest stream going on Twitch at the minute. You're all back. Welcome to the second part of Boys from the Baltic Star, where there is a surfeit of equity. But what there always is as well is a second half toast. And it's very important, as Ewan's sitting in the cheap seats at the Buckyball. Good work on the Stefan Sneaker Masterclass.
The geeker ones, though.
Of course, well, they're the geeker colour. It's very important that we toast this man because we must never forget him, because he is what made us today. Before we met him, we were a ragtag bunch at a fancy do for some fuzzy general. We had some hungover artist. We had a nervy scout, he's still suspicious to be honest, a suspicious thiefed. Fess! Don't ruin the toast with Fess! Fess! This is supposed to be a joyous moment. But I feel that he brought us together in the moment where we chased him down and he was locked in a room until he agreed to join the crew, which he did so happily through payment. But that point truly brought us together as a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a band together. And that led to the rest of you joining us as part of our crew, as our brotherhood and our sisterhood. And so really, when it all comes down to it, it is Greyhill Bast that brought all of this together. Without him, it would not exist. And that's why we use his picture in all our graphics. And that's why we toast him at the halfway point. So I'd love you all to raise your glass, as some of you are already doing, to toast the late, great Greyhill Bast.
Greyhill Bast.
Greyhill Bast.
May his gloop live long in that little jug that it's in. After our failed experiments.
Our failed attempts to preserve him forever.
Exactly.
Yes,
he had
to settle for being immortalised rather than being preserved.
Exactly.
He had to settle for half-assed toasts every week.
Probably better than having a preserved naked body with his bottom hanging out of the bar, to be honest. So,
well,
it's what he would have wanted.
Can you imagine the graphics for that, Luke? That'd be a whole other Twitch channel.
Oh, think of the tags I'd have had to add for that.
Yeah.
Right, Agnar can come back on. All right, we're going to do, Ben, we had a prediction before the break. We've got an NPC before we start. Clementine von Cotswolds.
Nice.
Clementine von Cotswolds? Okay.
Id Vision, very good point. Have you considered drinking him? He would then live on through other people.
We could ferment.
Oh. What's that yeast that they have that you keep it going, like the motherlode yeast, and you like share it out to people to make sourdough or whatever it is?
Yeah, sourdough.
Yeah. So he lives on forever.
Oh.
It's gone really bleak all of a sudden. Right, anyway. Moving swiftly on.
You've thrown Luke now.
I've thrown so much. Before the break, we had a prediction about who we were going to go to next, Soraya or Stefan. Ben, how are we going to decide this?
Well, in fairness, since we have a prediction going, I feel that I'm going to roll a die and determine it that way, because otherwise, it wouldn't necessarily be strictly fair. So we will see. And Stefan it is.
Stefan. Remaining. And submissions. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. Uh-oh. 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 Something did go wrong. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you what we'll do. Oh, no, it won't let me do it. We'll have to do it again. Hang on a second. It's okay. What we can do. How many points have you got, Ewan?
Me?
Yeah.
15.8.
Okay. Right. What the rest of you are going to do is Ewan's going to put 10,000 points on Soraya, and the rest of you can bet on Stefan.
What?
You got 30 seconds. Go.
Sounds
fair. Is this why?
Because it crashed. It didn't let us do it.
Because Luke wants me to lose 10,000 points.
You can't take it with you.
No, I know. I know. There you go.
There we go. Yes. Quick, get your points.
Claim
people.
your winnings now, people.
Claim your winnings now, even if you said Soraya. Flick to Stefan. Get yourself some
Oh, I'll
points.
tell you what.
Oh, someone has topped it up. Gentlemen. It's only a 30-second. You've got 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, 1
Have
second
some
left.
extra.
Let's see how it went. Choose outcome. It was Stefan. Did anyone pick Stefan? A complete prediction. There we go. Okay, there we go. I'm going to make myself a bit louder because that's what everyone always needs. There we go. Thank you, Fiddles. Okay, well, it is what happened. I don't know if any points went there, but you were very generous, Ewan. And
I definitely lost some.
oh, that's all right then. Someone bet 10, I think. So
Cool.
Sparrow's got all the points. Sparrow!
If anyone who won something wants to do anything, just ask Sparrow.
That's it. I get to shut up now, so I can just do loads of graphic stuff on screen while Ewan gets to play for a bit.
Yes, I think that's fair. Okay, so Stefan. Stefan has been taking station in the concourse outside the entrance to the area leading to the stateroom that is, at least in theory, occupied by Laura Frost.
Yes.
Someone we don't know all that much about yet, but we know from security camera footage and things of that nature. There hasn't been a lot of activity, it's fair to say. No comings and goings there at all. But as we know, he's recently learnt that Laura Frost has turned up in the hot tub area at the front of the ship, the sort of pools and humidity area in front of the ship, where she appears to be having a fairly discreet meeting with Freya Kranev.
Yes. Who informed him of this?
Johnny.
Johnny
Was watching Freya Kranev and has spotted Laura Frost.
Yeah. Can he at that message? Can he message Johnny back and say, "Okay, I'm gonna investigate. Can you let me know when Laura leaves?"
Okay. Yes, you get an immediate okay from Johnny.
Perfect. And he will make his way down the corridor.
Okay.
With an aim to get to Laura's room, or at least the door to, and see if there is anybody else around in that area.
All right. So Laura's room is essentially arranged in the same way as the crime scene area. She's the one at the end, in this case, not the one on either side, coming into a trio of staterooms.
Yeah.
And as you'd expect, though the main concourse is busy, and so is, to a lesser extent, the sort of main stairwell up and down, this little corridor that just leads to the three rooms is deserted. It's only going to have people there when a maid's coming through to clean or when the occupants of the room are coming and going.
He's going to try and open the door.
Okay. All right.
Not in a shady way. He's not just going to walk up to it and try and put it open. He assumes it's locked if she's not in it.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, we're going to start with, I think, a streetwise check to identify the nature of the door and how it can be opened. And you can use intellect for that.
Sounds like a philosophy check, the nature of the door. What is the nature of the door?
Define door.
Why does the door exist?
That is an 8 plus 2 was a 10.
10. Okay. The door appears to be of the generic type. There's no sign of any extra security or personal alarms attached to it. And it is locked with an owner's key card.
I see. Is this the kind of thing, in Stefan's experience as a shady type, that he would know how to attempt to try and open with what he has on him?
Broadly, there are a number of different approaches. You can, as Mr. Leno suggests, you can first of all go into the cupboard and then look in the coat and find key. Yes. The obvious routes are you can either force the door, literally break it open, or you can try to interfere with the electronics in the lock and pop it that way.
Yes. Stefan is just going to try and force the door open. He's not, he's not tech savvy. He's not. He'll be quiet about things. Assuming there's no plant pots out front that he can look underneath for a spare key card.
Like it?
No, sadly, there are no plant pots.
I figured that would be the case.
A random plastic-looking rock just by the door.
Yeah, hollowed out.
Okay, then can we have a strength plus athletics strength check, please?
Yes. Which works out at 0 and 0. That is a 9. Oh, I don't know if you can see those.
A 9. Oh, that's 9 total.
Yeah, plus nothing.
Okay.
Minus nothing.
All right. The door, though it doesn't appear to be armored or anything in any way, is too strong for you to push open with your bare hands, despite a reasonable amount of purchase you managed to get.
Do I have... Is there anything around that I could attempt to use? Something like to jimmy the door with, like just a thin, long metal strip to get in the lock. Not necessarily long, but a thin strip of metal I could get from somewhere.
There's nothing in the corridor. I'm wondering if you have anything in your own inventory. What weaponry are you carrying, for example?
I do have a laser pistol and knuckle blasters. Do I punch the door?
Oh, the lot.
I mean, that's definitely going to make a noise.
That's a slightly different definition of the term knock on the door, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stefan really needs a Slim Jim, I believe they're called.
He's
Slim Jim, I think?
Yeah, he's obviously got his hand laser as well. But yeah, I feel some kind of tools for this kind of work could be beneficial at some point. How he's used his knuckle blasters before. How loud are they?
Extremely.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. They are absolutely deafening. They sound like the Industrial Revolution falling down a lift shaft.
Yes. If he was to take a shell out, deconstruct it, and remove some of the explosive from inside.
Okay.
And then try and blow the door with that. Not all of the explosive, obviously, but I'm assuming
All right.
one shell is like a quarter of the volume of 4 shells in the knuckle blaster.
Yes. Also,
Give or take.
well, these are propellants. So though they produce an enormous amount of pressure, if you take them out of their containment, their breach,
Yeah.
they tend not to produce an enormous amount of concussive force. They might burn through the door more than blast through it.
Okay. Let's give that a go.
This is a relatively low pressure weapon, you understand, like a shotgun.
Yeah.
So it's like black powder. Well, I mean, if you've ever seen like old movies where people put black powder on the ground and light it,
Yeah.
it's that kind of thing. It's a high intensity, hot, smoky, flamey reaction, but it's not. It doesn't make a spectacular noise in itself.
Oh, please do that. I love watching that in films.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. So removing the explosives or the propellant from the cartridge won't take very long. I do need you to roll 1d6 for me, however.
Okay. All the 1d6s tonight. That's a 1.
That's a 1. Okay. And while you're doing it, I want you to think about how you're actually going to affix said explosive to the door, or how you're going to pile it on the door or whatever, because obviously the door is vertical.
Yes, the door is indeed vertical.
Because it's very traditional as doors go.
Unless you're in a Pink Panther cartoon. They'd get folded up and put on the floor and all sorts of things.
Yeah, they do.
I love those doors.
Well, I figure there's a couple of options which could either completely not work. I mean, I assume it's high energy enough. Well, Stefan's not very smart. He's not going to know that he could mix it with some kind of liquid and make a goop. Perhaps he does have 2 truth serums on him. Perhaps he could mix it with truth serum.
The door.
Try and make some kind of paste. Who knows? Or are there hinges visible?
No, it's a sliding door.
Oh yeah, of course. Let's go with that. Let's attempt to mix. I've got more cartridges. Let's mix one with some liquid, not much, just enough to try and. I'm assuming the truth serum is actually a serum and is quite viscous, potentially.
Yeah, ish.
Let's add a tiny bit and try and mix it into a paste and see whether that will stick, or at least hang there for a while.
Okay. Right, now here we hit the problem, of course, that I don't actually know the chemical composition of truth serum. So I'm going to ask you to roll a d6 for me.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
And we'll try and work out if this is going to work.
Let's see what the dice say. That is a 4.
A 4, okay. All right.
Who knows? Somewhere in the middle.
So, are you ready to try and ignite your paste?
Yes.
And are you putting it essentially, on or around the actual the part of the door that's by the lock itself?
Yeah, I think the plan would be to try and remove the lock from the door equation, assuming that it is just the lock that keeps the door shut. So just cut around the lock so that the rest of the door could just slide away.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
All right. No, I'm with you.
This is the most ridiculous thing I think I've done in a while.
I'm trying for the life of me to think what what we can actually do for this. I think it's going to have to be an explosives demolitions check, something like that, isn't it?
Oh no, wrong character. Yeah, that makes sense.
Unless you've got a scientific skill that would make sense in this context, like chemistry or something.
No, I think the closest thing I'm actually going to have is mechanic.
What's your mechanic bonus?
0. It's in fact 0. It's definitely
Okay.
wrong.
Then you can definitely have a +0.
Thanks.
Better than -3, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm afraid it's probably going to be a -3. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot. 2d6 -3.
This is where the dice
+0.
Kick me in the teeth tonight, I can tell. Oh, it's not bad. It's a 9.
Ooh!
A total 9.
I rolled a 9.
Oh, you
on
rolled
the
a 9,
dice.
so it's a total of 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the powder ignites and burns, fiercely. Produces a voluminous amount of grey smoke, which floats up to the ceiling. Really, really rapidly and intensely. And after not very many seconds, it dies out with just a couple of leftover sort of fizzes and pops as it completes its efforts. And behind it, you can see that the actual face of the door where the powder was has largely melted away. It's cracked, it's split, and though the door still appears to be closed and sealed, you do now seem to have access to the sort of door mechanism. You've gone through the metal facing of it.
Ooh.
Mm.
Nice.
Stefan wafts away the mass of smoke as if it's going to do anything. And then, first off, try to open the door. See if see how far we got.
Okay. Just trying to push the door open?
Yeah. With, mostly with the glove of his knuckle blaster rather than... I don't know if they're fingerless or not.
I have a vague feeling they're not, actually.
Yeah, let's say they're not.
Yeah. Okay. So he he presses against it, and this is 2d6 plus strength plus athletic strength, please.
Oh, well, at least it's better than that, huh? In theory. That's an 8 total, exactly.
Okay. This time, with the door mechanism sort of twisted, you find that it opens much more easily than you expected. I mean, vastly more easily. Almost as if it was waiting for someone to lean on it in order to pop wide open. You get the kind of vague impression as you open it that as you approached it, the thing that was stopping it open was the fact that the door had melted and twisted and warped and in its frame a little bit. And it just required you to shove it open a little bit.
Ah, nice. In I go and shut the door behind me.
Okay.
Or pull it to.
Fair enough. All right. Can you roll another 1d6 for me, please?
Yes. That's a 6.
Okay. Right. You are in the room, and the room is predictably exactly the same as others you've been in. There is a bed on your right as you enter the room with its headboard up against the wall to your right. On your left, there's a door through into the fresher and another into a sort of built-in closet wardrobe area. There's a small bedside table on the far corner of the bed, and directly in front of you a sort of coffee table and a couple of chairs, and so on.
Okay. He will stick his head into the walk-in closet and the bathroom and just make sure everything looks regular, I suppose.
Okay. In the bathroom looks immaculate. There are no sort of cleaning products or anything, no toothpaste, no shampoo. There's nothing put in there by the occupant. It looks as if the maid has literally just prepared it for a new person. In the wardrobe, there is nothing hung up, nothing in drawers, nothing taken out at all. But right in the middle of the wardrobe floor is a large single case.
He will take the case. He'll pick it up.
All right, detective.
All right.
Take the case.
Can I?
Unintentional fun.
Can I have a strength with athletic strength check, please?
Yeah, you certainly can. Heavy case. That is a 7 plus nothing is a 7.
Total of a 7. Okay. You are unable to lift the case.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's a heavy case. Can you open it?
It's locked, and it appears to be locked with a thumbprint lock.
I see. Okay. Can he will leave the walk-in. You did say walk-in closet, didn't you?
Yeah.
Perfect. He'll leave the closet, shut the doors behind him, and check the bedside table.
Okay. As you walk around that side of the bed, the bedside table again seems to have nothing on it. Not a piece of paper, not an electronic device. Again, the entire room looks as if nobody has spent any more than a few seconds in there. But on that side of the bed, there is another substantially smaller case.
With a thumbprint lock?
Yes.
Only had some sellotape with him.
Ah.
Try the old. Can he? He'll attempt. How big are we talking? The smaller one.
This one is, I suppose you'd say, it's bigger than those kind of fake hand luggage ones that people pull through airports, if you know what I mean, that they claim is hand luggage but is really a suitcase, just a small one. It's a bit bigger than that, but not a huge suitcase, whereas the other one is a proper, big family size suitcase, big trunk thing. Yeah.
Okay.
This one is medium sized.
Okay, cool. Who will pick this one up or attempt to?
Okay. Can I have a strength plus strength?
Yeah, certainly can. We are not a very strong party. That is an 8 plus nothing is an 8.
Okay. This time you have no difficulty lifting this case. It has weight to it, but it's nothing particularly unusual. It is a regular weight sort of case.
Okay, wonderful. And if there is, he'll check under the bed and the pillow. He'll lift the pillows up, check under the pillows, check under the bed, and then he will leave.
Okay. Can you make a deception check with dexterity for me, please?
With the case? He's just wandering off with the case.
Yeah. Oh. That's 2 1s.
Oh, no.
Plus 2. This makes 4.
Okay.
About time, I
Nothing.
suppose.
Nothing leaps out at you in the bed or anything. It looks, as I say, completely freshly made, as if nobody's touched it. When you look under the bed, you do see something. It is a fairly slimline sort of polymer briefcase, you might say, but it's really slim and not very big. It looks like it's sort of bigger than A4, but maybe only the size of a typical sort of messenger bag, not full briefcase sized.
Yeah.
And it's only a couple of inches thick, and it's polymer with an inbuilt handle.
Okay, he will take that. Can you carry both? Does the chest take 2 arms?
So he takes that one out.
Yeah.
Okay. That one does not have a thumbprint lock.
Oh. Does it seem worth it? He'll open it.
Okay. Inside is what appears to be a quite carefully arranged set of weapons. There's a very slick looking black pistol and a slightly larger but still, very short machine pistol, and a very slick looking sort of folding blade. Not significantly bigger than a flick knife, shall we say. It's probably the best part of a foot long when unfolded.
Okay, he'll take a photo of that with his personal device and then put it back.
Okay.
As close to he found it as he can, and then he will leave.
Okay.
With the small chest.
You're taking the smaller of the 2 cases.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And closing the door behind you as you go.
Yeah. And then he will head back to their suite.
Okay. I need you to roll 1 more d6 for me, please.
That's another 6.
Okay. All right. You make your way out onto the concourse fairly smoothly. Can you roll a deception with dexterity for me, please?
Yes. That's a 6 plus 2 is an 8.
Okay. As far as you can tell, nobody appears to note your coming or going. When you are safely clear of it, you do see a couple of people hurrying towards the corridor you've just left, bearing with sort of tanks on their backs and bearing little pieces of equipment indicating they might be there to fight a fire.
Yes. Perfect. He will just carry on walking. He'll take the most direct route back to their staterooms suite.
Okay. Yes, fair enough. All right. He is taking the fairly direct route back. That's perfectly reasonable. Which brings us, I think, to Soraya.
Oh dear, oh dear. Stefan heads back. I love the idea that Kara and Agnar are like trying to be well sneaky. And Stefan's like, I'm just going to blow the door open, quite frankly. I'm going to
You were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. You knew that.
I'm going to nick this suitcase, but I'm going to leave the case there so that no one knows I've been in.
With the melted door.
Blew the door open, stole one of the cases, but I'll leave this one where it was, so nobody knows.
I don't want to steal someone's weapons. That seems more personal than whatever could possibly be in a small case. I mean, that foot-long flick knife felt like, an identity.
Something important.
Yeah, definitely.
That is very serious. Where we left Soraya, she was calling for another round back at the pavilion and leading a toast after what's her name had dropped off. Soraya was partying with all the cricketers, the buckyballers.
That's right. She was indeed, and had cheerfully, sort of messed up her burgeoning friendship with Alma Kennedy.
That's very good. I felt I had to take one for the team. I feel.
Yeah, well, it's the geeks.
Yeah, and yeah, not that team, our team. There's many teams in this ship.
Many teams.
It felt like it was that part of a Columbo episode where he says something that makes the main baddie sort of turn on him and ask him to leave his house.
Yeah,
it had to happen eventually. As much as I love Alma Kennedy, she might be a wrong 'un. You can't just go around being friends with wrong 'uns all the time. I've got no idea what Soraya's going to do. Is our boy still there?
Rick Verlo, or
yeah, Vic. Yeah,
Rick Verlo. Yes, he's still about and enjoying being the toast of Dukes for a while, because he doesn't see a lot of action, and suddenly he's surrounded with women and things.
Well, I don't want to step in on that if he's enjoying his moment. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to ruin his time to shine. He doesn't need Soraya barging in and saying anything.
He got a couple of wickets. He's being bought a few drinks. It's a happy time for him.
And Soraya's a few mimosas in, so she's willing to leave him be. She'll take a moment to look at him with sort of a motherly pride. She's just very happy for him. With that same motherly pride of, I'm probably going to be cleaning up his sick tomorrow morning. But we'll leave that till tomorrow.
Yeah, that seems like a you problem.
Exactly. While all the joy's going on, she'll sort of small talk with the couple and edge away. The last thing she heard was a while back. So I think she needs to check in with everyone to find out what on earth is going on. The first person she'll message is Kara, who is, at this point, is probably halfway through a hack in the cross keys, I'd imagine, is she?
That's probably about right. Or more likely, she's actually just about to start that, I would think.
Okay. So I'll get an update from her about that room situation. There's been a clean up. They've taken something. She's trying to clear up. They sort of had a little bit of trouble. And that's where her and Agnar are. She'll message Stefan. I'd imagine this is just about the time where he's not going to answer anything at that moment. There's smoke billowing everywhere. The one person that we haven't checked in with is Zoe. And I feel like she might be worth checking in with. We sent her off to... What did we send her off to do?
To go and watch Buckyball.
Was that it? Did we not send her off to watch anyone in the end?
No, you sent Johnny off to keep an eye on Freya Kranev.
Did Zoe have... what's the name of her as well?
Zoe and Rose.
Oh, Rose. We let them have an evening.
To watch some Buckyball together.
Yeah. We let them have an evening. Okay. I'm guessing from my messaging around, though, I will find out that our mate, in big inverted commas, March Temple, has been in conversation with Olivia Sharp. That is something that Kara and Agnar saw, so they'll be able to report back.
Yes, they did. And after those two were wandering off, that's when they disappeared back down into the crime scene corridor.
Okay. Soraya will message, and I'm really embarrassed because he's the one that paid for us to get on the ship. And if you can remember anyone's name, you should remember the person that's paid for your tickets.
Got it somewhere.
Paral.
Thank you.
That's the one.
I'm going to write it down so I don't forget anymore. It's Paral. Sorry, everyone. This is not great TV, but some things I take more seriously than it should be, to be honest. Paral.
Aslan names is one of those things.
Because it's it's something I've had to learn. I spent most of those 20 years not near Aslan space, so it's something that I'm trying to get woke, and I'm trying my hardest, but I'm struggling a little bit with the spellings. Do you have it to hand, Ben?
What, the spelling?
Yeah, for Paral. I know it's not important, but
Paral.
Paral. Yeah.
Korar.
Korar. Thank you.
It's important for you.
Paral. Yeah, it's Paral Korar. Okay. I've just written Sarah Paral Korar. That makes no sense at all. PARALCKORAH.
AR.
AR. Sorry, not AH. PCKORAR. Oh,
yes.
Get there in the end, everyone. Get there in the end.
What was the flavour of that rum, Luke?
Paral Korar. Forgetfulness and hangover flavour. Hang on a second.
Fake banana and forgetfulness.
Forgetfulness. At least I get I get to put Tim up for a second while I'm thinking.
Tim.
I can spell Tim.
Tim can tell us anything.
Yeah, Tim's always there. He's so helpful.
Tim knows all.
There must be a help desk on this ship that I can go and talk to when I get lonely later.
No doubt there must be.
I think I might be wondering. Right. Anyway, while I'm thinking about where to go to find a Tim, she's going to message Paral Korar, if that's possible, and say,
yes, it is possible.
And say, hey, did you watch the game at all today?
You make contact. The device is picked up, but it isn't answered by Korar. It's answered by March Temple. Hello, are you trying to reach Mr. Korar?
I am. Nothing serious. I just wanted to say hi, really. I know he's a fan of the sport, and I just wanted to chat a bit about the game.
He is a fan of the sport, and I know he'll be very pleased to have had the opportunity to see you play a little today. But I'm afraid he's having discussions with various people at the moment. He did, however, ask me to put in a good word for you with station security. So I had a little chat with a woman called Olivia Sharp.
Yes. Hang on. Scratch that. Olivia Sharp. Is she station security?
Yes, and she wanted to know if I knew you.
Yeah.
And more importantly, perhaps if Mr. Korar knew you and could vouch for you and give any kind of sense as to what you were doing as his guest. And I explained that, well, I'll let you speak to her yourself. And there's a little sort of clatter as the device is handed over to Sharp, who's clearly still standing next to her. And Sharp says, hello. So which one are you?
Oh, I'm the one that hit the winning runs. Did you get to see much of the game at all?
Sadly, I was working. It's a shame. So you know that a couple of members of your entourage were loitering around a crime scene today?
I'll be honest. I was kind of focused on beating De La Brue, up the geeks. It's been pretty much my main focus for the last 2 days. I looked to the side and I saw different faces from my crew at different times with some amazingly painted banners. But I was definitely me and my colleague were out there. Has there been something going down?
Yes, it's probably not that important. It's just when somebody goes missing on a spaceship, it's always a bit of a concern because really there's nowhere to go. So we always worry about that sort of thing. However,
someone's gone missing.
Yes. Interestingly enough, it turns out to be someone you had interest in.
But I've got interested in. Is it a Geeks player?
No, no, it's well, I'm sort of joining up the dots here, but it was someone you asked Miss Temple here to arrange to meet with.
Oh, that would have been my colleagues. I was here for the buckyball.
Yes, yes, I think this arrangement was actually made technically before the Buckyball, but I'll accept that you've probably had other things on your mind. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any reason to believe that you wished Mr. Sagar any ill in any way. So I'm perfectly prepared to just move on and accept that you probably weren't associated with the actual crime that led to his disappearance, assuming there was one.
The only crime I'm guilty of is the murder of the Dilabru fan team today.
Up the
Up
geeks.
the Geeks! Um,
I love
so
the
are you?
geeks though.
So it's your. You said it was missing. Are you now thinking it's murder?
No, I'm still thinking he's missing.
You said
We have
murder.
had such things happen in the past. People discover that a creditor is on the ship or something like that. They think it's a good way to disappear. You get on a cruise liner, you open a vein, you throw some blood on the floor, and then you leave with all of your belongings left in the room. And you've bribed somebody to fly you secretly off the ship back to Geeka, say. These things are not unheard of. It's a good way to disappear.
Are there many ships that come and go from here once it's sort of launched?
From Geeka, yes, absolutely.
No,
We have people being dropped
sorry,
off.
from the seamstress. Like, can people get away from the seamstress easily?
Oh, sure. The hangar bay stays open up until we're preparing for the actual jump. There are ships coming and going all the time, dropping off people. Most people who come on these cruises don't have their own ships. They'll be brought out and dropped off in the hangar bay in the day or two leading up to departure, and we're still in that window.
I've got total faith then that security is tracking the comings and goings of anyone that may not be dropping off or picking up people or bodies or such like.
Yes, yes, I'm glad you have faith in security. It's a good way to live.
I always have faith in security. I think they're the glue that hold events together.
Yes. So I suppose what I'm saying is, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any evidence that you or any of your friends and colleagues did anything wrong, but I would urge you to keep a low profile going forward.
I'll be honest, the most you'll hear from me is potentially some screamed abuse at Dilabru players if they make runs, and maybe me drunkenly swirling a t-shirt around at about 5:30 in the evening if we're doing well.
Oh, excellent. Good. Okay. Well, tragically, it appears that I have to leave this conversation abruptly because there's some kind of security alert on the other side of the station. Um, Please keep your nose clean.
For sure. Be seeing you.
And she hands the device back, apparently. And March Temple comes on and says, "So, the meeting didn't go as planned, I take it."
I guess not. I very much doubt the plan was to meet with a missing person. Do you do you know this guy at all, or are you literally working with names and contacts that you've been given?
You asked me to connect up a meeting, so I connected up a meeting.
You did, and you were very good with it. Um, you know that I'm not quite as stupid as I can come across as when I need to be, and we know
Nobody's as stupid as you can come across as.
I know it
Oh,
puts a lot. I put a lot of work and effort into it. As she sort of puts her hand to the mic and shouts back, "Yes, I'll have another one of those flaming drinks. Bring it over.
A Flaming Joe.
A flaming Joe. Give me a flaming Joe.
yeah,
Flaming
nice.
Joes.
Canon.
Come on, we're celebrating. But I guess we also know that you're much more than you say you are too, and you're there's a lot more to you, and you're much more. I guess there's more power to you than anyone, I guess, on this orb would know. Do you did you know that this person would go missing?
I had no idea, of course. I'm pretty sure that these carvings have a much greater significance than Mr. Carrar realizes, and I was quite reassured to encounter some people who have um, taken them seriously. I
Oh,
found I
definitely.
found it quite disturbing when I was informed that Mr. Segar was perhaps missing. And, well, between you and me, I suspect it's more than that.
I know that you and we have differences, and we certainly can't forget um, the past between us, I suppose. But I think we would agree with you that there is importance to the carvings, and sometimes uh, situations make for strange bedfellows. I suppose is a saying that I've heard before on my travels. Um, that's not a pickup line. That's it's just a saying, and I guess we've all got different aims in life, and we've all got different things we want to do, different things we want to happen. But I do feel there is something that does connect us about these carvings, and if there's anything that I guess we could do for you that might help put your mind at rest, or anything you feel you could offer us that would help in the same, then I'm sure, you know, I'd be willing to jump on something off my own back or chat with the rest of uh, my buddy pals about that.
It's not that I don't trust you.
Understandable.
I mean, I don't trust you. I'm
No.
just saying that's not the reason.
And we don't trust you. At least we're balanced on that.
There are reasons I can't share more information with you at the moment, and it's not because I don't trust you. I additionally don't trust you, but the reasons I can't share information with you are for different reasons than that. But those reasons may not be forever. In fact, they may be coming to an end relatively soon. And I would like, insofar as it is possible, to keep within close contact with you until I get a definitive answer. Because there may come a time when indeed we will be serving a common purpose.
That is fine. Would you like that communication to go directly through you and I, or are you talking you and the team as a whole?
I don't really have a strong opinion either way. So whichever way makes you more comfortable.
Okay. Well, after too many mimosas, I tend to forget things. So sometimes it's nice to share things around. But we're not loose lips, you know. Especially when synced ships in space goes very badly indeed. So yeah, let's keep communications open as needed. We're not going anywhere for a week. Uh, the buckyball's on. It's not like we've come in one of our fancy ships to shoot on and off. Um, we'll be doing our things. We'll be trying not to make too much noise. We've still got one carvings expert we can talk to, and hopefully we might be able to find out. If we were to try and find out what happened to the other, would that be stepping on your toes?
I am as curious as you, and I would like the real answer, not the one that a corporate security person might think was appropriate for public consumption.
Okay. Oh, I quite like her on that. Ewan, there's a little bit of something. I'm warming to her. I mustn't. I warm too easily to people. We'll be asking her to join the crew before we know it. If I get warm.
And then we'll be in deep trouble.
Yeah.
In the meantime, there is something you could do for me tomorrow.
Okay. Oh
Um,
no, it's not during the game hours. What do you need done?
I'll give you the details in the morning, but there's somebody I would like you to bump into by accident and have a little conversation with about nothing in particular. And then hopefully after that, they will make a decision which would be good for them.
Sounds suitably vague for this time of night.
But I'll give you the details. I'll see you in the morning.
I look forward to it. Sleep well. I'll try to be quiet when I get in.
Oh, I wouldn't worry. We're on different levels in several ways.
Well, that's what people always tell me. But I'm doing okay.
She's pleased enough with her zinger that she hangs up at that point. She doesn't need to prolong the conversation.
And quite. So she should be.
Yeah, well, she has to work with you. She doesn't actually have to like you.
A few people do.
Okay. And that actually feels like a good time to call it for tonight because we've been going for a while.
We have.
It has been a while.
And we've been through all of the PCs. So next time we can find out about Johnny's discoveries, and we can press on with the buckyball and the investigation.
Yes. A nice spot to finish, I feel, Ben. Thank you. Thanks, Fitz. I'll start looking for a raid in a second, but some of you know the big news, but there is big news going forwards. There's a couple of big bits of news, I guess. So we had the discussion. Oh, sorry, Ella, I took it down. Hang on. Up the geeks. This is the first bit of news. Up the geeks is the first bit of news. It's always the news. The first main bit of news is that, which we're switching our Thursdays to a Saturday so that Ewan doesn't die of exhaustion. All the news, Fitz. It's not big for you, I guess. It is. You can see it in his eyes, bless him. And we had this discussion on Discord a while back anyway about what might be for the best. And so we're going to do from next week onwards, I guess. Thursday is either going to be Ben's behind the screens, and if he's the weeks that he's not, I will consider a Luke plays. So Ben will sort of get to choose the weeks he wants, and then we'll work around that. Friday is always
as it should be.
That's quite right too. I think you've earned that right.
Yeah.
I feel you're the March Temple of this discussion. I'm very much Soraya. Friday, of course, is Traveller, and will be any Friday that we're all available. The old Thursday will become Saturday. Something is starting on Saturday, which I'll leave to Ben, I guess, to talk about. Because I think you were going to last night, and we sort of didn't get around to it at the end because we rushed off.
That's right. So Saturday is the new Thursday, and for this coming Saturday, this is suddenly very weird because this coming Saturday is tomorrow.
Yeah.
But obviously, we don't actually mean tomorrow. We mean Saturday next week. next Saturday, the Saturday
Next
of next
Saturday.
weekend,
Yeah.
we are we're going to try something new because we didn't have a specific thing planned for this one. So what we've decided is to do a stream of some weird top 5 lists based on a theme. And
Theme's a very grandiose term, Ben.
theme is a very grandiose term. We've decided to randomly pick a word, which is a word that's associated with something else that we're doing at that time. And for that reason, this this coming Saturday week, the theme word is mystery. And we're each going to do a top 5 list of things associated loosely or directly with the word mystery. So do we all know what we're doing, actually?
We've got 3 out of the 4. So the plan was that each one of us would pick something, and then we'd hand it over to Discord for like the first decent suggestion, I guess, with the idea that if we announce it some days before, we can think about it, but you guys can too, so you can join in the chat while we do it, and then add it to Discord later. Ewan, what was yours? As you were sipping your tea?
My wine. My tea wine. Twine.
Twine.
Mine is the top 5 songs with magic or mystery in the title.
Oh, that's good. I like that. So think about that, guys.
That could be fun. Yeah.
I was going to go mystery, but that seemed really tough.
Mystery or
if
magic.
I'm honest.
It's a kind of magic. Could be in there.
There's a lot.
It's a mystery. There's a lot. Yeah, options. I like that. What was yours, Ben?
I'm going to do my top 5 classic mystery tales, irrespective of whether they were plays or short stories or novels or whatever, just classic old-fashioned mysteries.
Okay, so that's for you guys as well. So it's your top 5 songs with mystery or magic in, top 5 good old-fashioned mystery tales. That can be new-fashioned as well, I guess, but just mystery tales you really appreciate.
That's been my easiest list to do so far.
And the Discord was Fiddles came up with this one, and was it top 5 children's mystery films? I think.
Yep, mystery films.
Top 5 kids mystery films, which is a great one. That's a really good one as well.
Which is really good. There are some good options for that list.
So you got 3 there. I'll come up with one over the weekend because I keep falling down the Mystery Men hole, which is a terrible hole to fall down because I can't think of something good. William H. Macy films, which would be brilliant. But we've already got a films one. I don't want to do too many films ones, so. But I'll think of something and I'll ping it up on Discord and Twitter. What we'll do is we'll put something on Twitter in the coming days as well about what we're going to do. But it's going to become kind of our backup session, I guess. When we don't have those dark places, when we don't have the Delta Green, when we don't have a one shot, the quiet year. This is what I think we'll default to for a while.
We'll slide them in from time to time when we have a gap, essentially.
Which seems good. We'll hang out, we'll have a few drinks, we'll discuss random top 5 lists and topics that vaguely relate to what we're doing on board the Baltic Star.
I like it.
Superb.
So that's 4 top 5 lists for each of us. So it'll run for sort of an hour and a half, 2 hours as usual, to be honest, by the time we get there. It
probably will, because if we've each got to come up with a list for each of the categories, which, it's going to produce, I assume there'll be a fair amount of overlap, I'm guessing. But hey, such is life.
I'm hoping we hit some, some that come up in all our lists. I don't know how likely it is, but at some point, that would be cool.
I don't know either, but
who knows?
Leno, it is. It's all about felt tip drums of Agnar. That's what I do whenever I'm tired and bored. But I think the switch to Saturday was to help us, but was to also help the Brits. Poor old Leno on a Thursday night, bless him. The Americans and Canadians who are rushing home from work, because we're trying to find that middle time, I guess, for all of you guys. and a Saturday suits. And so so we could do those best fives, top fives, which will start next Saturday. And there'll still be those dark places. Hopefully there'll be a Delta Green. We can sort out Leno. We'll still hit some one. October to November is going to be one. We'll talk about that. It's the one shot winter.
Yes.
So we've got things coming. And then so that's Thursday, Ben or me. Friday, Traveller. Saturday, our old Thursday. Sunday, Luke plays again. I don't know. I've got about another 4 or 5 sessions. You asked me that today, didn't you, Ben?
Yeah, I was curious as to how far you were through, and you said you were 14 missions in or something.
14 of 18, I think I looked at. I had to look at a playthrough list, but I didn't then look at how to do it. But I think it was 14 of 18. But I'm considering Hitman 1 or 2 after that, purely because there's clonkings, there's hidings, and there's deaths in it. My deaths.
You've got to respect the CLD.
Because the CLD is there to stay. You've got to pick games that fit the CLD from now on. So, and I've played Hitman 1 but ages ago, and Hitman 2 was free on PSN, so I've been downloading the missions. So might consider a bit of that after Alien. It's a different vibe, but I think I think it's a very talky game because there's a lot of hiding and a lot of me freaking out and running away quite often, I think. So it's doable. It's doable. And then we've got to have my Halloween spooktacular at some point as well. So,
yeah, we'll have to do that. And obviously at the end of next month, we're going to kick off our one-shots, which, I mean, we may not do every week, but we'll do a scatter of them, won't we, throughout the winter?
Winter one-shots. Starting with your Halloween one, Ben, that you've got to do a Halloween one-shot.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to do a scary one to start with. We're going to see if we can actually make Luke cry on stream.
It's quite likely. You nearly made me cry tonight with how mean March Temple was to me, so you can probably make me cry.
Yes. It was. She was quite tough with you, yes.
So there's lots to come, and all we've done is shift it so that people can get a bit of sleep on a Thursday night, which is not a bad thing. Let's face it.
Yeah, I think it is sensible. It is something that makes sense for us, and I hope it makes sense for everyone viewing as well. And as far as our normal arrangements mean, it's simply that what used to happen on Thursdays will going forwards happen on Saturdays, beginning Saturday week, tomorrow week.
Yeah, there might be the odd time when we revert back, I would imagine, but purely maybe for guests.
There'll always be the occasional throwaway evening or whatever that we do because random stuff happens, but we generally focus on doing 2 regular evenings a week, and now it'll be Friday Saturday rather than Thursday Friday.
Yes, exactly.
Right, I better look for Raid.
What are the choices?
I don't know. Let's find out. Church. I spelled church wrong. So we're switching to Saturday so that Leno can play, so we can eat at the restaurant and go to the church. I just want to eat fusion food. What was it? Italian Mexican. A strong fusion.
It was an odd fusion, if I recall. Yeah.
Strong fusion.
I don't know. Italian Mexican sounds pretty good.
I'm
chili on pizza. I could deal with that.
I'm big on that, I tell you.
It's very Sergio Leone, isn't it?
Yeah. Oddly, not oddly. I'm not sure if it's oddly. It is.
I've got Storyforge doing Dungeons and Dragons. I've got Ghostlights RPGs doing D&D 5e, fresh takes on something. And I've got Level Up TTV doing Blades in the Dark. And my 3, I can delve a bit deeper. Let's have a look. Oh, so they've all changed. Oh, it's all changed. Hang on a sec. Bear with me. Keep talking. Ignore me. I'm looking for good things.
Italian Mexican fusion. Most definitely. Yeah. If anyone's got any good Italian Mexican fusion dishes that they cook regularly, hit us up. Send us a recipe. We'll make some and we'll eat it.
Aren't spaghetti tacos a thing?
Oh, keep talking.
Spaghetti omelets are definitely a thing.
Okay. I'm sure I heard someone talking about spaghetti tacos years ago and saying that it was an amazing thing that everyone had to try.
Look at all these people with more viewers
It
than
sounds
us.
good. It
Oh,
sounds
I upset myself now. Does sound good. Right, hang on, where we go?
It's because you're following the wrong people.
I
You
am.
need to
No,
follow the small.
I'm watching
follow the-
everyone. I'm trying to go for
follow
someone
the-
with few because I think that brings more joy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Generally, if you can find something that fits the ethos and has not many people,
We found some really cool stuff, haven't we, over the weeks as well?
Yeah.
Like legitimately good stuff, and I think that's what you need
Yeah.
to do. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a Fallout. If people are happy with Fallout, English roleplay, Friday night Fallout, playing the Fallout D20 set. That's a good set actually. Zet. How would you spell this? ZET. Can someone type this into thingy so I can come back over, please? ZETCHRYN. Could someone do that, please? ZETCHRYN. So I can come back over. Thank you, Fids. Raid. So should we get Discord up as well while we do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll raid. We'll check out the raids, and we'll head over to voice chat and Discord.
Right. Yep, that's absolutely wonderful.
Cool.
Nice one. Right. See you guys at Discord, and then see you tomorrow night when I'm hiding in lockers. I am. The aliens back.
Lock us in.
I'm hiding in.
Yeah. Midnight lock us in.
Yeah.
Midnight lockers in. Okay. Cool. Let's go. Let's raid. Toot toot. Good viewers. Well done, guys. Cheers. Let's send them some love. Yeah. Let's raid. Now they're off. And I've stopped us